to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Hey everyone, it's Jananie and welcome back to my channel, This Story Ain't Over. So today I'm coming to you with a video that I've been wanting to film for a very long time now, and that is a bookshelf reorganization. So as you guys can probably tell from all of my previous videos where my bookshelves are kind of a mess, they need some work. A lot of books are like hanging, you know, on top of other books and they're all over the place, and some books that are by the same author aren't with each other, and overall it's just a bit of a mess. So I have been running out of a lot of room on my shelves for a while, and I keep unhauling books, but I'm probably gonna unhaul some more today and move them into my basement until I can donate them, because right now it's kind of hard to with lockdown and things. But I'm very excited to make some space on my shelves, clean them up, make them look pretty. I haven't actually reorganized in a really big way in like a year and a half, I want to say, or maybe a year. I did a bookshelf tour last August, I want to say, and I think that was the last time I reorganized my shelves. And I got these shelves last June, I want to say, right after I got back from BookCon and Book Expo last year. So it's been a while since I've kind of changed up the format and changed where the books are, and I really want to do something different. So we're gonna try that out today, and hopefully this doesn't take forever, but we'll see. And I'm gonna take you along for the journey. I will try to tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. There might be some parts of this where I'm just, you know, listening to an audiobook and just going ahead, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I want to show you a little bit up close what my shelves are looking like right now. So this first shelf over here, if you've seen my bookshelf tour, you've probably know this, but this has all of my like old favorites up here and like my childhood favorites up there. So I really want to reorganize this kind of first two shelves over here to fit more, because right now they're just like stacked right next to each other and take up a lot of space. And then down here I moved some of the books that I want to unhaul, like my Sarah J Maas and stuff, and got rid of those, and so I added some books that were just lying on my floor here. So these ones really need to be organized because they're just all over the place, and some of them like are in the wrong place, like they're just a jumble of genres, so I want to fix that. This shelf is probably going to stay the way it is because it's a bunch of my classics and books from university and things and stuff that just doesn't really fit anywhere else, like the Percy Jackson, Greek gods and stuff. So I'm probably gonna just leave this one the way it is. Same with this one, which is my classics shelf, more books from school and university that I don't want to get rid of and I just want to kind of keep in my collection. So I probably won't move them from this bottom shelf. And I also keep them on the bottom shelf because they get the least screen time in my videos, so I like to keep them there. And then over here we have my manga and like my Shiny and Jongen albums and just some random like fantasy books. So this I kind of want to fix up to maybe fit all of the manga on one shelf. I'm thinking if I move it up to this one, it might all fit in there. But I also don't want to move it up there. I might move it to like all of the manga down to that bottom shelf, because this one's kind of a mess right now and I'm going to get rid of the random folders that I have there. And then if you look at the rest of this shelf over here is mainly like books that I need to read and arcs and just a lot of random books. And so there's a bunch on here that I want to actually get rid of. And then I have a shelf at the top that is just journals that I have that I need to move into like a box somewhere. I've just been keeping them there for access, but I don't actually use them. So I'm going to get rid of them or move them into a box and under a shelf somewhere. And then basically the way that these other two shelves work is that this one is mainly contemporary and this one is mainly sci-fi fantasy. So I kind of like to keep it that way because I like my fantasy in the middle here for my videos, and they're like my prized possessions and I just love having them in this like pretty location and where I can see them. But one of the things is that like I have the new Saboteur book for Ember in the Ashes that I need to fit here, but there's like not enough space, so I might have to move one of these series like down. And then over here I am thinking of actually moving some of these like random short books up to this top shelf because it is really small, and then moving more of like the books that are the same size to the shelf. So yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done. So I'm gonna start probably with this shelf and get rid of the things that I don't need and make a pile of what I'm unhauling. I don't think there's anything interesting that I need to unhaul because all the interesting stuff I've unhauled, I've done unhauls for before, but I'll let you know. Okay, so the first book that I think I'm gonna unhaul is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I actually started reading this and I got like 100 pages in, and I was planning to include it in an Epic Book Recs video, but then I didn't end up actually like liking it. Like, it was just really slow to start and I just wasn't feeling it. So I think I'm gonna get rid of this, but let me know in the comments if you guys think it's worth keeping, because I've heard a lot of great things about it. And if you think that I should like push through, like if you know that it starts kind of slow and that it gets better later, let me know if it's worth continuing. But like right now I'm just not feeling it. And I'm also feeling this thing where like I keep holding on to books that I'm like, oh, I'll eventually read them, but like I really don't think I'm gonna actually eventually read them. And there's just so many other books that are coming out that I've wanted to read for a while, and a lot of like non-young adult that I really want to read. So I'm just like, why am I making so much space for these books that I don't really want to read anymore? So that's where I'm at. Probably getting rid of this. I'm debating whether I should keep Scavenge the Stars. This is an Owlcrate edition, I think, that I have. I know it's like a Count of Monte Cristo type of retelling, but let me know what you guys thought of it, because I'm like not inclined to actually keep it right now. But if you guys thought it was good, let me know. Same with this one, Belle Revolt. I have no idea what it's about. I think it's a fantasy, but let me know if you guys have read it and what you thought of it and if it's worth keeping. If you have any opinions on Are You Listening by Tilly Walden, also let me know. And same with any of these 3 arcs. So I'm Not Dying With You Tonight by Jilly Siegel, and Song of the Crimson Flower by Julie C. Dow, and River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. Let me know what you thought of these. I'm like kind of tempted not to keep these arcs, because while I'm interested in them, I'm not like really excited to read them. So I don't really want to keep the physical copies if I don't really want to read them. But let me know if any of these were like great and if you really want me to read them. Okay, I'm happy with how that top shelf is now. It will have to get reorganized later though, when the last Serpent and Dove book comes out. I think it's Gods and Monsters or something, so we'll see. And especially if Cryer's War has another book, but for now it works. Also, can I just say how like satisfying it is that these books like just fit really nicely within this shelf? Like, I just can't. Why don't I ever film from this angle? Nice. Okay, so we said we were gonna move some of these smaller books up there, which we're gonna do now. This is a lot. Okay. I'm getting warm, so I'm gonna change my top. Okay, so I reorganized this entire shelf and kind of jam-packed it with as many of my contemporaries as I could. Now I have like 3 stacks here, but I'm kind of okay with this because I feel like I don't pull out my contemporaries as often as I pull out my fantasies, so it'll be okay. But it will need some changing around since I do have Super Fake Love Song that I want to put here as well with the David Yoon books, but right now there's not enough space there and I don't want to split up some of these other ones, so we'll see. Now for the rest. Okay, I lied. I'm gonna move these 2 off of here and put these 2 here so the Sun the Menon is at least on the same shelf, if not right next to her other books. I just don't like that it's like a different size from her other books, but whatever. And then I got my Elizabeth Acevedo down here and my Tiffany D. Jackson, and I'm very pleased with this collection, so I'm gonna fit these all in a stack, I think. I'm gonna put Grown on top. Okay, very happy with that. And I think I'm gonna put Kelly Yang on top there because I love that book. Okay. I think Frankly in Love can go on top here. And I'll put the paperback here. And I'm gonna bring Super Fake Love Song here. Okay, Shatter Me doesn't really belong here. I do have these three contemporaries, which are some of my faves. Love and Lies of Rukhsana Ali, A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tara Murphy, and Challenger Deep by Neil Shusterman. And now I have like these 5 contemporaries that I've gotten recently. A bunch of these were sent to me by Epic Reads, and then I think I bought Always Never Yours like ages ago. I haven't read any of these, but they are contemporaries, so I do want to find a space to fit them on my contemporary shelves, even if I haven't read them yet. So we're gonna do that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get rid of these 3 books. Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones, because I didn't really enjoy it that much. The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James, also another one I enjoyed, but it wasn't like my favorite, so I don't really want to keep it. And then same with I Hope You Get This Message by Farah Naz Rishi. So I'm gonna put these in like a pile to get rid of at some point. Okay, we're doing pretty good. I've like cleared up a bunch of space down here, which is exciting, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. So we're gonna find out. Okay, so I got to a lower angle so I can show these bottom shelves, but I think one of the things that I want to do, since I'm making more space, is move some of the books on my TBR cart onto my actual shelves, because right now there's so many books on there that like it's really heavy and I can't really move it around. And I also want to be putting more like journaling supplies on the top rack and like second rack of that cart, so I can have more stationery on there and like do more journaling videos hopefully in the future. So I'm gonna start by moving the manga off these 2 shelves so I can move them to the bottom shelf in the middle. Her Name, one of my fave anime movies. Also need to finish I Hear the Sunspot. Orange is one of the best mangas you will ever read. Still need to read I Want to Eat Your Pancreas as well, but I've heard good things about it. Oh my god, one of my most prized possessions, my Sailor Moon like Eternal Edition manga, which is just so beautiful. I might leave my shiny albums up here and move my Naruto and Full Metal Alchemist. Works for me. The only thing you can't really see is my Horimiya in the back and then Black Clover, but again, I'm okay with that because I know they're there, and I also don't pull these out as often, so I'm okay with them kind of being double stacked. Wow, I just made so much room on my shelves and this is very exciting. Look at those 2 beautiful shelves that I've cleared out. Like, how exciting is that? Interrupting this little bookshelf reorganization to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. So Skillshare is an online learning platform for creative and curious people where you can find thousands of classes on exciting and interesting topics such as graphic design, illustration, you know, learning camera basics, productivity, creativity, literally anything you could think of that you'd want to cultivate a skill for. You can find a class for that on Skillshare. I've been using Skillshare since April of this year and it's been a godsend. I've learned so many things. I learned, you know, how to video edit on it. I learned how to do some illustrations on Procreate, and the most recent class that I am planning to take is one by Amanda Rach Lee, who has a wonderful journaling channel on YouTube. And she also has a really great Skillshare class called Journaling for Self-Care, Exercises for Reflection and Growth. This is a really great class where she goes through, you know, journaling to help you center your mind and help with your mental health, and I think it's a really great thing, and I just love taking Skillshare classes because because they provide such added value to my life. And it's also a really great price point. For less than $10 a month, you can get a premium subscription, which you can use to access so many of their classes and learn so many things. And the first 1,000 people who click the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. So you can go try that out and check out all of the classes, because honestly it is such a great thing and adds so much value to your life. I've learned so much in the past few months, and I wish I had more time to kind of watch more of the classes, because I think I can just level up my skills for YouTube, for work, in so many ways. So highly recommend going and checking out Skillshare and clicking that link in my description and checking out Amanda Rach Lee's Skillshare class, because I think she's just awesome and I aspire to her channel like amazingness. So yeah, go check that out. But now back to the regular scheduled programming of my bookshelf reorganization. Hello, I changed my shirt again because although that was a tank top, it was very warm. Now I think I'm gonna move my adult books that have kind of been taking this one shelf in the middle over to here, I think. And that way I'll free up some space in the middle shelf for more YA, sci-fi, and fantasy. I also don't have my entire collection of books here right now because I've like lent them off to different people, so we're gonna have to make room later on. But I'm also gonna move some of the adult books on my TBR cart to these shelves as well. So as I'm moving the adult books here, I'm actually thinking that I can probably move some of the nonfiction books that I had up in the skinny shelf over to here, because I think they'd all fit in here as well, and it'd clear up that shelf for something else. These turned out pretty good, so I think I'm gonna move on. But yeah, happy with how this turned out, and I still have some space on the shelf above this for more contemporaries as I get more, so that's good. And I don't know if you can see, but I do have some like Talia Hibbert here, some like adult romance, but I don't really feel like putting it on these shelves because I don't really feel like they fit, and I feel like I'll probably end up putting any more adult romance that I get on this shelf. Okay, progress shot. So even though I said I was going to rearrange these, I still haven't done these, but I think I'm going to leave them that way because I know I've tried to do them before and they never work out because there's just different sizes in the series, and then like it kind of dips in the middle of the series and it's just annoying. But I will be rearranging this shelf over here, but I'm liking the way that this bookcase is turning out. This one needs a bit of work, but I think it's gonna get filled up with more books eventually, so I think that's fine. And then I think this is my next focus, so figuring out the sci-fi fantasy and adding a bunch of books that are on my bed and my TBR card onto that shelf. Okay, we're almost to the finish line. I have a bunch of books on the floor here that need a place, and then I have a bunch on my TBR cart, but we will get to those. This gorgeous edition of Shadow and Bone, the special edition, collector's edition that they made. It's so pretty. Okay, we're finally done. This looks so much better and I'm so pleased with how this turned out. Okay, so I did a bunch of like shoving at the bottom, which is totally fine, and like my manga collection is kind of cramped, but it freed up so much space and I'm really happy about that. I didn't end up reorganizing this shelf as much, which I'm okay with. I figured this part out. I added a bunch of the ones that I haven't read on this shelf, and my adult shelves are looking pretty nice, and I kind of organized them out with like the sci-fi fantasy up here, sort of, and the other ones down here, and nonfiction and kind of literary down there, which is nice. And then these middle shelves are looking so much better. My Grisha-verse collection can finally breathe, and I finally have space for Sky Beyond the Storm, and there's a bunch of fantasies up there. And then I have more of my favorite books over here. Like, these are my faves, love these. Some of the middle are like just random ones, but they all are the same height, which makes me happy. And then Anna K is just here because I love the height of it, and I love this book, so even though it's contemporary, it's here. Same with Lovely War. This shelf is kind of a work in progress. These three will probably move somewhere else. I don't know where yet, when I get my other stuff back. And then this shelf is looking a lot better, which I'm happy about. And that's my manga shelf. And then this shelf is like continuously gonna be kind of ugly, which I'm fine with, but these are just like random books that don't really fit anywhere else. But these are some of my faves, which, well, I haven't read these, or this, but these are some of my faves, so I wanted them on par with this, which is why they're there. And it all looks so much better, and I can guarantee you that in like a couple weeks I'll have like a bunch of books stacked right there in my next video. But for now, I'm very happy with this. But that is all I got for this bookshelf reorganization. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That actually went by quicker than I thought it would. I always kept thinking that like if I tried to reorganize my shelves then it would take like hours and hours, but this didn't take me more than like maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. So I'm happy about that, and I finally got to kind of film it, and I hope this feels kind of like a bookshelf tour for you guys. But I will do a dedicated bookshelf tour sometime in the beginning of 2021 because I know a lot of you have been requesting that, but I'm just feeling a lot better about my bookshelves, so feeling great. Please go check out my Instagram and Twitter and Goodreads in the description down below if you want to hear more regular updates on my reading. And please let me know in the comments what you thought of my bookshelf reorganization. How do you organize your books? Because I know I do mine kind of by genre and like by author sort of ish, but I know a lot of people have like other ways of doing it. Some people do like color coded. So let me know what you do in the comments. I would love to hear. And I will see you in my next video. So please remember that the story ain't over. Bye.